What?
You'll never guess what. Timex has just ripped off a Casio. Let's get into it! Yes, and welcome to the Mad Watch Collector Show. Right, let's get straight into it, shall we? Let me just introduce you to the GA-2100 SU. This is a watch I bought a couple of years ago. It was a new shape for Casio and G-Shock, and it's got the nickname of Cassie Oak because the shape of it sort of looks like an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak.
Take a good look at that one.
And now everyone have a look at the DW5600. The original G-Shock square, the design that started off the G-Shock range back in 1983. You've had a good look at that one too, yeah? Now some of you may be thinking, if you merged them together, I wonder what you'd get. Well, don't worry, Timex has done it for us. Introducing the TW2V35600, otherwise known as the Command Encounter. Does look familiar though, doesn't it? And this isn't the first time Timex has tried to copy a G-Shock. Take a look at the Command and the Humvee. Oh! Both watches look a little bit like G-Shocks that have been hit on the dial with the ugly stick
74 times.
So here we go. As you can see, in my eyes and my mind, I'm seeing two G-Shocks, the original square, and one of the most popular new issues, the Cassie Oak. I mean, the dial is so blatantly Cassie Oak, it's ridiculous. So let's park the blatant copy into one side, and let's delve into this Command Encounter. So this is an Annie Digi watch with a day indicator on the left, digital screen on the bottom right, multifunctional giving you 5 alarms, stopwatch, countdown timer, and a world time. So yes, this is a good watch for traveling with. You can have a different time in the digital display than you do the handset.
Just like the Cassie Oak.
For what it is, it's quite a big boy at 45mm in diameter, 14.5mm thick, just under 50mm lug to lug. The actual lug width is 16mm, so there's probably no change in the straps going on with this watch. The case is made up of a 3 composite resin structure, and I have to say it does look pretty tough.
Because it looks like a G-Shock.
We got a mineral crystal protecting the dial. I do like the little red marker on the top of the bezel. Completely pointless as you can't twist it, so I don't know why they did that. Maybe the mold design had that dent in it and they just thought, oh, let's just colour it red. It's quite cool though, it goes well with the dial. The dial does have a matte texture to it, very three-dimensional, with those recessed hour markers in white. As you can see at the tip of these hour markers, we do have lume. Very simple text on the dial, not a lot there. This watch has a water resistance of 100 meters and some text on the bottom of the LCD screen only a magnifying glass can read. The screen is a negative display. It is difficult to read, just as the Cassie Oak to be fair, but I gotta give Timex its credit. It's actually a well done dial, isn't it? I like how the parallelogram, yeah, big word, not even sure I said it right, but I like how that hugs into the screen with the edges. The strap is a bit naff, especially on the buckle side. There's an awful lot of space on there. It looks quite cheap. I like the shiny stamping of the Timex and the red one, but it's really fat. It will look big on the wrist. It's a bit more interesting when you turn it upside down. You have this cool tire tread stamping
to stop us sporty boys and girls from sweating.
The strap isn't all out G-Shock, but you do have those pads that stop the strap from going straight down, so that if at any time the watch falls on the floor, the strap is able to give it a bit of bounce, whoa, and protect the inner module. I have to say I do like the pushers, really easy to push down, unlike a G-Shock, but in doing so makes it feel a little bit less tougher, you know? This watch is battery powered. The battery does last for about 3 years, does have an O-ring gasket. This watch is made in China, headquarters in the US, owned in Norway, made in China.
Could you just click that like button, please? It really helps the channel. Thank you.
On my 6.5-inch wrist, and the watch does seem a little bit high, you know, tall off the wrist. But I have to say, it's quite comfortable. I'm not against the big chunky strap, and I actually do quite like the design.
Probably because it's a G-Shock.
So let's do the comparison of the Cassie Oak to the Timex Command Encounter. So yes, here it is. It's not as octagonal as the Cassie Oak. The case reminds me more of the G-Shock square. The hands are quite similar. However, the ends have been cut off on the Timex. We have those same recessed hour markers and three-dimensional chapter ring. But the two things that really takes the mickey are the day indicator, as you can see, almost exactly the same, just round the wrong way, and that LCD screen at the 4 o'clock. The one thing you have to say to Timex is they've made the screen bigger to help with legibility. These GA2100s have not only the resin case to protect the module, but they have a carbon composite core, which helps that inner module even more. You don't have the same protection with this Timex. Just looking at the font of shock on this new Timex, it's awfully similar to the G-Shock logo. They're taking the What G-Shocks do have is a 200 meters of water resistance, Timex just 100 meter water resistance. As you can see, the Casio has a smaller size case, 42.9 millimeters, and it's one of the thinnest G-Shocks in their range at only 11.9 millimeters. So the wearability of a Casio is far better than this Command Encounter. Now to the price. So I found this watch online for £120. On Timex's website, it's £135. And you can get two other colour variants, a khaki green and a darker khaki green. For the basic Casio model, the black with the white indices, I found for £71. The stainless steel case one that I own, I found for £159. So just £24 more than what Timex sells their watch for. Recently though, Casio have brought out a new Casio that has a multi-band 6 function, but biggest upgrade of all is solar powered. And I found that watch for £129. I think what I'm trying to say basically is,
Get a Casio.
although I really do like the design of this Timex, they have really been cheeky with their design choices this time. Apart from us reviewers or Timex fans or people that just hate G-Shocks for some reason, I can't see a market for these Timex watches when we all know there is far more value in a G-Shock. One more thing, I forgot to mention this at the start. Listen to the beeps, okay? I'm going through the modes and then you'll know which mode has gone back to the time. Oh, such a downer. With all Casios, it's a higher pitch when you get back to the time. Have a listen. That's lovely. Oh, so depressing. That's another reason why you should have a G-Shock. But what I'd love to know is, are you interested in one of these? They are pretty well made, decent functionality and decent legibility and a great looking design. If you can get past the I've actually copied G-Shock kind of look, you know? Here it is, my wife's thoughts on the Command Encounter by Timex. This is ugly. Looks like a kid's toy. One of those 80s electronic games you used to play as a kid, and not a good one. If you've watched till the end of this show, thank you very much. Why don't you become a member and click here? You'll never guess what. I'm gonna give this watch away to the members. They're gonna love it. But if I've got you for a few more minutes, why don't you check this show out? Oh, what a lovely show this is. Full of excitement, sadness, depression, but then excitement again. Lifting you up, you know? Go on, click it. Click, click, click it!